Welcome back. In this video, we discuss more about the V2 profile pack and how that relates to the cupping profiles. Let's get into it. The first thing we would like to establish is that the V2 profile pack update should be considered more like an expansion of V1 over something completely new. When it comes to the cupping workspace, the curve setup and timings from the V1 profile packs that you have become familiar with are very much the same in the V2 update. We still trust the effectiveness offered by those initial profiles. However, the more time we spent roasting, there were some areas that we realized needed to be improved upon. These areas were mainly to do with some tweaks to a few of the back-end settings. These are settings that are related to precision, control, and how well coffees will follow the reference curves for all batch sizes and different coffees being roasted. To enhance these aspects for the cupping space even further, Sam has gone through all 205 cupping profiles. Selectively, he chose to make 3 changes to the settings on each. The first of these is an increase to a more suitable minimum rate of rise for each of the profile packs. In V1, we had these set up at a very low setting, but we have now realized this could allow too much freedom of heat increase to be utilized to keep the roast moving forward when the anti-stall program written into the operation code is activated. To make this control more precise, each of the profiles has had their minimum rate of rise adjusted to a point we found more stable for each of the 5 roast approaches. Let's move on to the second change. The second change we have made is to the spread of numbers on each profile for the level ranges. These sequence of numbers are responsible for controlling the different amounts of increase between roast levels in the studio, or when a user uses the plus and minus buttons on the unit to increase or decrease the development percent. We have increased the spread of the high and low numbers at the start and end of this sequence. Doing so allows a wider range of variation possible from each of the profile packs. This wider range will allow a user who wants a slightly customized development range, easier ability to alter any cupping profiles to a wide choice of percent up or down from where the suggested presets start on any of the default curves. Lastly, the final improvement made to the profiles is adding a zone regulation around when the first crack is predicted to happen. To see any zones that have been programmed to activate during a roast, you can turn this visual on by clicking on Zone in the legend down the bottom of the studio. You will then see the zone in green and what time and how long it has been programmed to activate for. Our cupping profile zone addition is programmed during the time within the roast when the coffee is self-generating its own increasing heat momentum. This is typically around the time of first crack. When the time specified is reached for these cupping profiles, a more sensitive period of heat management will be activated. This is indicated by the green zone on the profile. This activation acts to limit the roast increasing too rapidly if the rate of rise anti-stall function is triggered. This drastically reduces the possibility of a higher increase in temperature occurring from the point of the first crack to the end of the roast. The zone we have added then works to make sure that the temperature climb even when anti-stall is running is further limited, slowing down how much your roast can increase when in this zone. Ultimately, this leads to the profile holding closer to the default reference curve and within the tolerated range of increase allowed by the end time by ratio setting selected for each profile. The new zone setting has been extensively tested by several beta users and has conclusively proved to be a great solution. When combined with the other 2 new settings, collectively all 3 give every user more accurate roasts. And that is a wrap. Hopefully, this video made it clear that you still have the same familiar cupping workspace that was provided in V1. We have just fine-tuned these profiles to give you even better sample roasts each and every day. As always, happy roasting.